Hey guys, and welcome back to your girl Brittany. In the first tutorial of 2022, we are going to be making this Memorydex dresser. It has the Memorydex at the top, and then you have two drawers at the bottom. And I even made a super cute kissing booth Memorydex to just go right in the top there. And I think this is a great way to add decor in your craft room for all your Memorydex, or even just to send as happy mail. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for the tutorial. So we're going to start with the drawers, and you're going to need two of these, and we're going to fold on our score lines as always, and we are going to cut up on the square portion up to the score line. Then you're just going to adhere your tabs together to your long pieces, just like we would on any other box. Now we're going to do the drawer covers, and again folding on the score lines, and then we are going to cut on the square pieces up to the joining score line. Now I did this previously in another tutorial where I am going to fold the tabs on the outside of the flaps instead of the inside, so then that way there isn't any disruption with trying to open and close the drawer. And then with the Memorydex shelf, we are going to do it just like any other box, but the difference is you don't have to do it like me. I am going to do my tabs on the outside because I'm going to be adhering panels to it. It's going to hide it a lot better, and then the inside doesn't have those weird little tabs hanging, and you don't have to worry about matting the inside if you don't want to. So do it however tickles your fancy, but this is just how I'm going to do it. Now for the holders for the straws, we are going to fold over the 1/2 inch flap and then the 1 inch right on top of it. And we are going to create a guide. So do that one on a piece of scratch paper. So you can either go ahead and, if you have the Memorydex punch, go ahead and punch that out, or you can utilize a already made Memorydex to help you out with this. So I'm going to fold over, and on my 1 inch part I am going to line it up, and I'm going to take a hole punch, and I am going to make sure that it hits the very top, not going over, but just hits up to the top, and punch out my holes. And then once I have that done, I'm going to adhere my pieces together, and then the one I just had punched out, I'm going to use that as my guide to go ahead and punch out the holes on the second one. Now we're going to take our shelf box, and we are going to adhere these pieces inside, making sure that the holes are towards the bottom and not the top. I mean, if you want it towards the top to make it a little bit higher, that's all up to you, but primarily is to be towards the bottom. I'm going to bring in my mini mat so you can see it better. I am lining my straw up on the mat, and I'm going to cut a piece of straw at 3 inches and then line it up with the other piece and just cut it off from there. And now we are going to adhere the boxes together. So I'm going to take my bottom piece, and I'm adding my adhesive, and then I'm going to adhere my other drawer on top of that one. Once I get those pieces together, I am going to adhere my shelf onto the top. Now we're going to work on doing our panel, and if you look at your score lines, we are going to make a mark 1 inch on the other end of the score line, and then we're going to go ahead and fold on those. This is going to have a bit of overhang, which is what you would want because it's better to have more than to have less. And then I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of my drawer stack here, and I'm going to stand everything up and line it up in the middle and center it up to make sure that it fits properly. So once I go ahead and do that, I am going to then make a marking of where the top of my drawer is, because actually I'm going to kind of do like two markings. So one, so I know where to cut off my overhang, and then the other marking is to know where I'm going to cut my little angle piece. So once I know where I'm cutting, I'm going to go ahead and grab my trimmer, and I'm going to cut off my overhang, and then I am going to cut where we made that 1 inch marking at the top. I am going to angle it so it's at a diagonal, and I'm going to cut that little angle piece off. You don't have to do this, but I do like it a lot better. And then once that's completed, I'm going to go ahead and adhere the side panels together. Remember how I said earlier to cut yourself an additional guide from scratch paper? Now this is if you want a piece for your backing to be a longer piece and being cohesive. And so that's why I said create another guide. If you want to just have it stop where the box starts, then that's perfectly fine too. I use one of my scrap pages, and it is a little bit shorter, but that's okay because I can just put some, trim or ribbon on it, how we crafters do. But I'm just going to line that up and make sure it goes over my holes properly. And then I just have one long cohesive piece instead of it just stopping at the top of my box. Again, if you don't want to do that, then go ahead and measure it properly, so then that way it'll stop right where you need it to. Now I'm going to take my straws and add my hot glue and then place it where we had made those holes. I'm doing one side first, so to make sure I have room to stretch out and add my hot glue to the other side, and then I'm going to press it all together to make sure it adheres properly. I do suggest that if you want to have a matting piece on the base of your shelf portion there, that you do that first before you do the straws. And then after that, it's all about decorating it and making it cute and work for you. You can fit quite a bit of Memorydex at the top, depending on how much dimension there is. But I just think this is such a super fun project. It is 7.5 inches tall. It is 5 inches wide and 3 inches deep. So great for a happy mail. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.